Is this a better truck than 2024 Toyota Tacoma? Well, in this video, we're going to answer some of the questions because I recently done both of the Tacomas, the TRD Sport and the SR5, and I have it fresh in my mind. So I rushed back here to Norm Reeves Honda in Port Charlotte, Florida to take a look at this brand new trim for 2024 model year, 2024 Honda Ridgeline Trailsport, and we're going to do a full review of it, starting right here in the front, the engine, the interior, the capacities, and the test drive. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. And now let's get back to this. All right, Toyota lovers, don't be putting any comments in until you watch the entire video. I'm going to be giving my opinions and my opinions only on what I think is better and what I think is worst between the two vehicles. Now, they're two different vehicles, even though they kind of compete in the same segment of a mid-size pickup truck, but they're meant for different things. So let's talk about Honda Ridgeline. The first Honda Ridgeline was introduced in 2006, and that generation lasted till 2014. Then we had a little break, and Honda reintroduced Ridgeline 2017, refreshed it in 2021, and added that Trailsport trim in 2024. Now, what the Trailsport trim means, that it's more of a rugged vehicle, more to be taken off the beaten path, not climbing boulders in Moab or anything like this, but it has a sport or off-road tuned suspension, it has skid plates underneath here, and it has more aggressive tires. Well, let's talk about the design, and that's definitely very subjective because everyone is different, everyone likes different things. However, I think that Toyota has done a better job designing the new Tacoma. It's definitely more trucky, more masculine, and in my opinion, it just looks better up front. But nevertheless, this one looks good as well. It's got a fairly short hood, nothing crazy going on. And here you have this big piano black trim piece. As far as the headlights, now the headlights are halogen headlights. I kind of wish they went with that jewel eye headlights, which we have on the Pilots and the Odysseys. And you have this claw-like daytime running lights. And then scrolling down here, your turn signals are sitting down at the bottom here. They're incandescent turn signals, and you have the LED fog lights all the way at the bottom of the bumper. Now, I like the color of this grille. It's kind of that glittery gray grille with a big Honda logo here and the orange Trailsport badge. Now, it looks a little bit more rugged in here. I still think it's a little bit too low to the ground to be a truck. The ground clearance is about 7.6 inches. If they give us another inch or so, maybe two, lifted that suspension up, I think that would be the sweet spot for it. Now, what I like better about the Ridgeline than the Tacoma is what's underneath the hood. So if you want to find out what it is, take a look. So underneath the hood of this Ridgeline, you find the 3.5-liter V6 engine that's tried and true. It's been used in many other Honda models, including the Odyssey and the Pilot, the Passport, of course. Very smooth, delivers 280 horsepower and 262 foot-pounds of torque. It's made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and it's standard with the all-wheel drive. All Ridgelines come standard with the all-wheel drive. I like the look underneath the hood here. I like this engine better than what I see in the new Tacoma, which is the 4-cylinder 2.4-liter turbocharged engine. And underneath the hood, you'll find some sound insulation in here that should make for a nice and quiet ride. You still have the ugly prop stick. I still think that should be replaced with the hood struts down there. And then I already mentioned that I love that platinum white color. It's got a lot of sparkle in it. I think it looks really good on that car. I'm not sure if that's that truck color, that off-roady color that you want, but they have other colors available. Now, at the bottom of the vehicle, the entire vehicle, you see this matte black cladding. I mean, that's to protect the paint from being scratched in case you do take it off-road. And, of course, it does have this off-road tuned suspension. 18-inch wheels. I like the gray style wheels with the general grabber tires. This is the all-terrain tires, a little bit more gripping. 245 by 60 is the size of the tire. Now, as far as the mirrors, you have the black, piano black mirrors. You have the turn signal in here. The blind spot is on the inside of this vehicle, and everything around the windows is blacked out in here. And of course, you do have a standard keyless entry system. As long as the key is somewhere on, you can lock or unlock this vehicle by simply pressing this button right here. Now, this is a big difference between some of the competitors and this, because as you can see, this is a unibody construction. Even though there is a separation between the bed and the cab of this vehicle, but the cab can fit 5 people in and in more comfortable fashion than, for example, on the new Tacoma, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But let's talk about the bed. The only bed configuration, the only bed size is the 5 foot and 3 inches bed. But for 99% of people who are buying trucks this size, that's going to be plenty. So let's take a look at this. And let's check it out right here in the back, starting with the lights. So this is a combination light setup. So you have the LED taillights, but the turn signals are still incandescent ones, and it looks like it does have the LED backup lights. As far as the rear bumper here, they also have the built-in steps for if you need to get inside of the bed or if you need to reach for something. You have the dual exhaust reflector lights in the tow hitch. You do have the this is a 7-pin connector. So this is the bigger connector as far as that. And, you know, the towing capacity across pretty much all of the Ridgelines is 5,000 pounds. So that word comes short with the competitors such as the Toyota Tacoma, which can tow up to 6,500 pounds. But there's certain advantages of this vehicle. First of all, the gate opens up 2 different ways. And before we do that, you have the Ridgeline kind of embossed in here, Trailsport badge on the side. You do have the rear view camera, same thing as in a Toyota Tacoma, right in the gate. So you can open the gate just the regular style. And this is not a soft open gate, so I wish that was an option on the Ridgeline. Or you can open it by swinging it just like the regular door. So this is how you can open this gate. There's certain cool features inside the bed. Let's take a look. So the bed, as I mentioned, is 5 foot and 3 inches, but it is wide. Okay, you can easily transport drywall 2x4s. Now, of course, it's not going to fit lengthwise, but you can lower the gate in the regular fashion and put a bed extender, and you can actually fit that in really easily. Now, you don't find that. It's a lot narrower in pretty much all of the competitors because you usually have the larger wheel wells that are sticking out. Now, it's bed lined over here, and then you can see it has a standard sliding glass on top. You have the third brake light, and then you have some illumination inside the bed as well. Now, what the cool feature is that the competitors don't have is this lockable storage right here. Look, you have a trunk slash cooler. This is waterproof, so you can put some ice in here. If you're tailgating, you can put some beverages down there, and then if you're done with it, you simply pop that plug out, and then the water is going to drain down. Now, you have a temporary use spare tire, not the greatest for an off-road trail, but pretty good for regular highway usage. And here underneath here, in case somebody locks you up in there, you can actually have the release underneath to get out. Now, this is lockable, so you can lock it and people won't get inside. And let's see what we have on the side right here. Just an additional storage if you want to put something away. And the total payload is 1,600 pounds. So listen up to this. Now, in the Toyota Tacoma, it says the total payload is up to 1,709. But on both of the trims that I've tested, the SR5 and the TRD Sport, one of them was only 1,200. The other one was 1,257. So much lower than this. Let's take a look at the interior of this vehicle, starting right here in the back door. So as far as the rear door panel, you still have a lot of hard plastic, but it is kind of that different plastic. It's a better quality, in my opinion. You still have some soft materials down here for your armrest. Cup holders right on top. You have the window opening, and then of course the door handle. And let's take a look inside. Let's see at the seating configuration. Yes, you do have a leather seats standard on the Trailsport trim. really nicely appointed seats, very comfortable. You have some contrast stitching in here, you have some perforation, you have some solid things. The middle console folds down, and you have two cup holders and a little bit of storage if the third person is not sitting in here. And then you can have the seats, you put the seats up for an additional storage. This is actually pretty interesting because if you're biking or anything like this and you really don't want to put the bike, in the bed or on the hook, then you can actually put it in right here. That's tons of storage in this Ridgeline. Now, it's also interesting that you don't have any humps in the middle. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle, but there's no big hump like you've seen of some of the competitors. You have vents in the middle console here. You also have the 12-volt power outlet, and not sure, these are vents right here as well. They're blowing air right now. So pretty nice setup. Well, let me jump inside, see if I have any room in there. I adjusted the front seat to my regular comfortable seating position, and I'm still leaning against the front seat with my knees, but I have plenty of shoulder room, plenty of headrooms, and I gotta tell you, the important thing is the seats are so much more comfortable than on the Tacoma. So that's a big advantage of this. And I can probably slide this seat another inch and fit my knees behind it. And again, this is a 3-passenger in the back because there's no hump in the middle, so 3 people can sit comfortably. Let's take a listen to how the door sounds when it's closing. Boom. I think it's better than on the Tacoma. It's more solid thud right here on the door. Let's see what's going on in the front door panel. So now we have some soft materials. This is soft, this is soft, this is soft. The rest of it is hard plastic, but you're basically never going to use it. Now, the blind spot assist, most of the vehicles have it in the mirror. This one is right on the inside. You also have 2 memory seat settings. You have the window mirror lock controls. This is where you pop your gas tank open and a little bit more storage underneath. Now, you have the regular stereo. There's no branded stereo in here. And let's take a peek and see what's going on as far as the seats. Love the seats. They're really nice. They're comfortable. You have the Trailsport stitched right in here. This is all a leather. You have some contrast stitching. You have some solid perforation. You have some bolsters that are not too big, not too small. Really made for comfort. And you do have the power adjustments on both driver and passenger seats. Now, on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, you have the controls for your mirror. You also have the Econ button for the best fuel economy, and down underneath here you have the parking sensors. We can turn them on or off. Lane keep assist, traction control. You can turn on the cargo lights in here, as well as this is your pre-collision sensing. You can turn that on, and this is turns on the area that heats up on the windshield underneath the windshield wiper. So if it's frozen, it's going to defrost for you. Now, in the pedal box, nothing too crazy. This is your brake. And then you have, of course, the brake and gas pedals. That's where you open the hood. Let's jump inside. I'll show you the rest of this interior. And here's the interior of this 2024 Honda Ridgeline Trailsport. Well, let's hit that start button, fire it up, and let's see what's going on here. Now we got the doors closed. So right here, nicely appointed steering wheel. You have the same contrast stitching, leather wrapped. You have this golf ball texture on the sides. It is good to the touch. It's the right size, and you have a bunch of buttons on each side. So on this side, you control the tracks, volume, and then you can control what's going on in the instrument cluster. You also have your voice control button. On the right-hand side, you have the cruise control heated steering wheel, a lane keep assist, and you can adjust the gap between you and the car in front of you as far as the cruise control Honda logo, and then fully digital instrument cluster. Let's see what's going on here. On the right-hand side, speedometer. You have the tachometer on the left-hand side. Let's put the home screen here. And then you see on the left-hand side, instead of the range and fuel warnings, gauge display settings. So we can set it up as far as what's displayed in here: range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, navigation, all-wheel drive, torque, tire pressure, no content, brightness, etc. Go back to the main screen. You can set it up as having the warnings right in the middle: range and fuel, speed and time, audio, phone, navigation. Let's see if we can set this up in here. It sets the compass, but once you set up the destination, It's gonna give you that turn-by-turn direction. You also have that digital display of the speed. We're in the normal mode, and you can also turn it into the sport mode, the S. You have the fuel gauge at the bottom, and you have the indication that the seat belt it's not fastened off. And also, if you turn the vehicle off, it's gonna give you that warning, say, hey, check the rear seats, make sure that everybody is out of the vehicle. So very simple, but readable, everything that you need. Not too many things that you don't, right? As far as the display here, now this is an old infotainment system, and this is the only option that Honda has as far as the size of it. So this is the 9-inch, and this is an older Honda infotainment system. Not bad, not the worst, not the best. I gotta tell you, I wish we had this same infotainment as on the brand new Accord Touring. I think it's a better one, and maybe an option for a larger screen, but this is not bad. So what we have here is we have the vents on the side. And one thing to mention, that this is all soft as well. Okay, it feels better, Toyota. It feels better when we don't have this hollowy sound with a lot of cheap plastic all over the place. Let's see what we have. Home screen, back, audio and volume knob, and you know the track modes. These are all hard buttons. All apps, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. First of all, navigation system. Standard, okay, on this Trailsport trim, and you don't need to have a cloud-based navigation. Well, this is a lot better. Yes, you do need the updates, but you're not relying on the phone service for your navigation to work. Okay, your phone. You can connect your phone wirelessly, of course. Then you have the FM, Sirius X, Android Auto. You need to connect the new device. Well, let's see. Turn on Bluetooth and search for Honda Ridgeline on device, or connect via USB, so you do have the wireless Android Auto. And we're going to check it out as far as the Apple CarPlay. Yep, same thing. So Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both wireless connections. A big plus in my book. Display, you know, brightness, contrast, black level, sound. The one thing I think I would like to see, and I know Honda uses Bose stereo on certain trims, kind of wish that it had that, or at least had it as an option. But it has the non-branded stereo in here. Camera, let's take a look. This is the rear camera settings, fixed guidelines, dynamic guidelines. Let's actually put it in reverse and let's see what the camera looks like. Ugh. Now that needs improvement. Okay, you already put the camera up high. I'll give the camera to Toyota because I think it's a better quality, and overall, we don't have any of this going on as far as the rear view camera. I can, of course, make it a widescreen, and it's going to kind of eliminate that, but I mean, I don't dig it. Okay, and the quality could be a little bit better. Okay, so let's go back to the park mode, back to settings. Vehicle settings. So you have the driver assist setup, meter setup, driving position setup, keyless entry setup. This doesn't give you a lot of options. Door unlock mode, driver door only, or doors. That's when you hit that button on the remote. So tons of settings here. Maintenance info, door window setup, lighting setup, keyless access setup, driving position setup, etc. This is for your memory position links, seat position, movement at entry, exit. We have this on, so if you are exiting the vehicle or entering it, it's gonna give you that maximum room to get in or out. We have anything else? Trip computer system updates. Oh, you have an AM stereo, so FM, AM, Sirius XM. Honda Link, this is your subscription-based system. You can set up the clock, right? If you don't like looking at any of the data here, you can just set up this nice clock. I believe it has different faces. And yes, it does. All right, we're in Florida. Let's put some palm trees here. There you go. We have palm trees right there. There's 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay, so here is your infotainment system. Hazard lights. Okay, down underneath here you have a dual zone climate control. And that means that that's another point for Honda for climate control, having different settings. Actually, it's a triple zone climate control because look at this. The rear has their own settings. Wow. But there's no controls in the rear, so you have to control it from the front. Okay, but if I control this, see the rear stay the same. I have to do is I have to go to the rear mode, rear settings. There you go. That's where I can control the temperature here. Oh wow, huge deal for a lot of people. Okay, on off as far as the fan, auto, sync modes, fan speed, AC or circulating button. You have the front windshield defogger, rear window defroster, mirror defroster, a little bit of storage down underneath here, 3-stage heated seats. All right, you have the wireless charging here, and then you have the USB Type A, Type C, and the 12-volt power outlet. Okay, so you have this button shifter basically. I got used to it on my Pilot really quick. It doesn't bother me a bit. Here's your drive modes. We're going to go through that really quick. Turn off that automatic start-stop feature. 2 big cup holders. Right, I like this trim, nicely textured, and tons of storage down underneath here. Right, so as far as the overall design, look at this. This is soft. This is hard. This is hard. This is textured. Overall, most of the touch positions are soft plastic. Big thing. Right on top, you have the HomeLink system, 3 different devices that you can program to it. You also have the sunroof. All right, this is a regular sunroof. There's no panoramic sunroof option. And then here is where you can open this rear sliding glass. And again, you don't have to pay extra for it like you do on Toyota. Right on top, we have the sunglasses holder, and you have the illuminated mirror in the visor. Overall, as far as the quality of the materials used and the features of the interior that comes standard with this vehicle at this price point, I'll definitely give this to Ridgeline. Let me know what you think. We're going to talk about pricing next and take it for a spin. So here we are, guys, at the pricing part of this video. So Honda makes it really easy for people to choose their trim of the Ridgeline. They start with the Sport one at $39,750, so the starting MSRP is quite a bit higher than what you see as a starting MSRP of many of the competitors, including that Toyota Tacoma, which has a starting MSRP of about $32,000. However, you get absolutely nothing with that. You get a leaf suspension in the back, you get the smaller engine with the Toyota, and you actually almost must purchase some of the other features, not to mention you don't get the 4-wheel drive. So all Ridgelines have the what they call the IVTM all-wheel drive system. So it's the intelligent variable torque management all-wheel drive system that adjusts based on the way you drive. It also comes standard with the 280 horsepower 3.5 liter V6 engine. You have the dual action tailgate, you have the in-bed trunk, etc. Those are all standard equipment, even on the base sport trim. The RTL is the second trim, 42,580. It's going to add a leather trimmed interior, blind spot information system, one-touch power moonroof, heated seats. Now we get to the Trailsport, which is at 44,980, and it has the Trailsport styling, of course, off-road tuned suspension, all-terrain tires, all-season mats, and the Black Edition tops it off at 46,350. So we have the Black Edition exterior, 18-inch black alloy wheels, red ambient lighting, big deal, you know, depending on what you want. So you gotta give it to Honda. They make it easy from about $39,750 to $46,350, and you get tons of feature with each of those trims. So if you are comparing, let's say I have done a Toyota Tacoma TRD 4x2 double cab with a 5-foot bed, and it had like literally 2 options that were added onto it. It was a $42,000. You still didn't have the all-wheel drive. You didn't have the leather seats. I mean, this is a better value for the money, in my opinion. All right, guys, so let's talk about this. Which one do I think is a better truck? Let's kind of sum it all up. The exterior styling, I would give it to Toyota. I like that masculine truck look of that vehicle. I like the way they redesigned it, and it like looks better in my eyes. As far as the engine, I'll give it to Honda. I like that 3.5 liter, 280 horsepower. It's a smooth, gradual acceleration. It's also made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission versus that 4-cylinder with Toyota. It's made it to an 8-speed. Now, Toyota's got more torque, 317 versus 262, so it might seem a little bit peppier, right, as far as the acceleration. We're going to check this out in just a bit, see how this one does. But Toyota was definitely, there's no slouch. I mean, it had plenty of power, but a lot of people got lost at that 4-cylinder. This one's standard 6-cylinder. It's also standard with the all-wheel drive system, which is a big plus. And, the interior quality of the materials used, I'll give it to Honda. I also give to Honda the roominess in the back seat and the comfort of the seats, no question about it, hands down. Compare it by yourself. Even if you are a true Toyota Tacoma fan, you will agree with me that this is a more comfortable vehicle. If not, go talk to your chiropractor, make sure that you're adjusted properly. But yeah, so comfort, the design, give to Toyota. I also give to Toyota one thing. It gives you a little bit more features that you can add. Like, for example, standard comes with an 8-inch screen. I don't like that 8-inch screen on Toyota. But guess what? I have an option of going all the way up to 14-inch screen. With Honda, this is the only thing that you get. Not a big deal. The off-road capabilities. Now, I have not tested either one of those off-road, so I can solely rely on the specs of the vehicles. And I can say that Toyota, it's got a better approach and departure angles. It sits up higher and it's more of an off-roady vehicle, and that's for sure. So I'll give that to Toyota. Let's stop here before we continue, and I'm gonna go with the acceleration. I'll put it in this sport mode. Okay, let's go. Hey. 55 miles an hour, no issues. This vehicle is perfect, even for like long road trips. I mean, the seats are comfortable. You sit up higher. You have this big windshield right here. You have this corner glass. The mirrors are the right size. Even in the back, you have the good visibility, of course, as long as nobody's sitting in the back. I think that for people who don't need to tow heavier loads or to go boulder climbing, this would be a better choice. Now, let me know what you think about it. Okay, it depends. Every vehicle has its purpose, so it depends on what you're looking for. And I think Ridgeline would probably check most of the boxes in my book versus the Toyota Tacoma. Now, I haven't done the Trail Hunter, which is, of course, going to be the iForce Max engine, and I'm excited kind of about it to see if they improved like in the quality of the interior, the quietness of the cabin. I know they couldn't do much with the seating configuration, so Ridgeline will take that any time in the day as far as the comfort in the back seat. And but that could be a nice option too. Now keep in mind also that this is with destination, and I think the colorist premium is about $495. It's about $48,000 on this truck. The TRD Sport 2-wheel drive that I did was about $48,000, and it didn't have half the feature that this one has. Like, here's another thing. Dual zone, triple zone climate control. You only get one zone with Toyota. Okay, heated seats, heated steering wheel, wireless charging. I know a lot of those features you get in both, but I think for most of people, this would be a better choice. Let me know what you think. I hope you like this video, and I hope you learned one or two things. And if you have, then I've done my job. So don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming up. And I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.